message boards that catches my eye. Cover 3 presents their SEC West win totals. Go in there and I read it. Mr. Kyle. And Mr. Kyle didn't do anything wrong here. This is all on me. But I'm reading through the transcripts of what he says, that Danny Cannell, the other guy, Tom Fornelli, and somebody else, okay? And what they have to say. And when I read the stuff about A&M, I start getting angry because I don't agree with their opinion. And like I'm making mental notes of how I want to tackle this on the show because, other people's opinions are not allowed. That's how I'm internalizing it.
So what did he write that you were?
Nothing. Honestly, it really was. But I think I was. Remember, I told you before the show started. I think I've been grumpy recently.
Yeah.
Just looking for a reason to be grumpy. People not taking the under on 9.5 wins for the Aggies. Oh, really? And then bringing up that the pace of play for A&M being slow, and Jimbo not evolving. And that's how I remember it. I'll have to go back at the exact words. So I went and on the way to work, I listened to the segment. And yeah, they were critical of certain things, but I don't think when you hear it out loud, it's as critical as it reads. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you read something, you don't understand tone.
Oh, absolutely.
And in this particular case, they're critical, but things that I think you can be critical about. One of them being Jimbo's offense is more pro style, not a big play offense. What I would retort to, they kind of had to do that last year based on their personnel.
After Chapman got hurt, and they were still figuring out what to do with Anias early in the year.
Right.
But after Chapman got hurt, you're looking, and Demas is going to take some time. So they didn't have that over-the-top guy. So the best thing they could do for that team to win was to run the football, control it, and win in the fourth quarter, which, by the way, I always thought that was a good thing when you own the fourth quarter.
So what? And again, I don't know the guys' voices. I know Danny Cannell, and he's been critical of the Aggies before. But I think he was pretty good with A&M. He thinks Jimbo's a great coach, and I believe he had the over on the 9.5 wins, which surprised me. He had them over, and he said they'll maybe lose the Ole Miss game, the LSU game, or the Alabama game, but not all three. And I think one of the guys thought all three were obviously losable games. Any game in the SEC is a losable game.
It's true,
but. The pace of play and all that, I see that. I understand. He was just saying, I think Cannell's big point against Jimbo, and I'm paraphrasing here, and again, people's opinions, you can have them, but I'm going to retort to them sometimes, is that Jimbo might be a little, what's the word here, stubborn in the way he wants to evolve as a coach. And if last year they had success doing it one way, why would they change it up this year? But the only way to beat the Alabamas and win a national championship is by opening up your playbook, because LSU did it, Alabama did it. There's a long history of teams that have done it. All fair commentary. But you have to look at the personnel on the field. And the other thing that struck my memory is that the pace of play thing, and the Aggies play teams, they should be crushing them, but it's yet a game in the fourth quarter because they don't outscore their opponents by 20, 30, 40 points. Again, there's a lot to that. Time of possession, how good your defense is, and how you want to grind out victories with your running game.
And yet, if my memory serves, they won, what is it? I want to say 7 of their games by double figures.
Yep. I think their point was entering the fourth quarter, like the Orange Bowl. It was a game.
Once again, I guess I'm old school, but I still remember when dominating the fourth quarter was considered a sign of strength.
Absolutely.
And the whole pace of play thing, I thought all you did at the end of the day was look to see who won. But the whole pace of play thing is a perfect example of why I actually think that they should go back to the computers to decide which teams get into the playoff. Take the champions when it goes to 12 and then use the computers, because the computers don't get caught up with that. That becomes just a personal thing. You're saying, well, North Carolina was a team that liked to throw it around a lot. Florida was a team that, fast-paced, throw it around. Mississippi State was a fast-paced, throw-it-around team. All those, A&M beat them all.
They sure did.
So, but by that way of thinking, their rationale, A&M shouldn't win those games because their pace of play was slower. Because pace of play is obviously what matters, right?
Well, apparently that's the only way that you can win a national championship is by – and look, I understand that football is changing, but I think Jimbo's changing too. You saw him change last year during the season, how he evolved and worked his offense. Does he have a pro-style offense? Absolutely. Does he have some gamers this year, hopefully, that are healthy and participating that could change how often he does the deep ball? I think so, yes, too. And I think my whole point of the conversation to start the show is, sometimes when you read things, you get a little angry. It wasn't as bad as it reads. At the same time, I've got a retort for all that, and that's why we do sports talk, right? Because we have our opinion, we counter with this. So they weren't as bad as it read. And again, I don't even think it reads that bad. I just took it in a sour way.
Well, the good thing about whether there's criticism or not, in about 2.5 weeks, you start playing, and then you find out who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't.
Exactly. So, hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I just had to start, sometimes I get these little rants and I just go, and so it wasn't the necessary direction I wanted to take the opening part of the show. So maybe I'll do the pleasantries now. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Garner's Jewelers. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we can talk about that whole topic there about pace of play and Jimbo evolving and whatnot. You can do that at 979-693-1150, the BCSI Associates hotline. Also out there, the A&B text line, Real Texas Banking, 979-693-1150. The question that I have out there for the day, what is one stone cold lock about this defense, this A&M defense? Think about that, OB, as we go around and talk to our friends here. We'll go to the Fishbowl and Nuño's Niños with Dalton. Good morning to you, Dalton.
Oh, good morning. Happy Thursday, everybody. If I'd say one stone cold lock for the A&M defense in 2021, pain for their opponents. Pain.
Thank you, Mr. T.
Sounds
You're
like,
welcome.
yeah, Clever Lang. There you go.
Clever Lang.
Pain. That's right.
Mr. D. Dalton.
Oh, Mr. D, sorry. Dallas Cowboy fan as well, as we can see. I represent Batman. He represents the Cowboys, and you are representing a nice polo.
White. Just a white shirt.
A white shirt. We'll go around to Tori Esprevo in the News and Social Center. Good morning to you, Tori.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well. What is
Good.
new?
There you go.
Tell us a story.
A story?
Yes, just anything. Just
I don't
on
have
the
any
spot.
stories. My birthday's tomorrow. Boom.
Boom. What you got planned? Well, maybe you shouldn't tell us.
Yeah, no, never mind. I do see that me and Mary, though, are twinning today. I had to say that as well.
Yes.
All right, let's get into some headlines. I got a couple here. Texas A&M track and field head coach Pat Henry announced the hiring of Kurt Henry as an assistant coach. Henry previously served as assistant coach at New Mexico for the past 2 seasons. He's also here served as a volunteer assistant coach in the seasons of 2014 through 2017 here at A&M. Also in the soccer world, Texas A&M Soccer opens their 29th season today with top 10 clash. Number one Florida State at Florida State. Their first kick is slated for 6 p.m. today. And then also our Aggies were picked as a co-favorite in SEC pre-coaches poll, sharing the top spot in the SEC preseason coaches poll with Arkansas Razorbacks. And then lastly, Texas A&M Athletics 100-year anniversary celebration of the birth of college sports. Our most famous tradition begins in August and continues through the 2021 to 2022 school year of all the Aggie home events.
Excuse the ignorance. Kurt Henry's got to be related to Pat Henry, right?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I looked it up
suspect.
and I didn't see any. I thought so too.
Well, it's got the same last name. And did Pat Henry used to coach in New Mexico?
I do not know. All I know is he was at LSU.
Yeah, I knew that about LSU. So somebody's going to text the show and tell us, be smarter, guys. Well, appreciate it, Tori. So here's the deal. I got angry, but now we're going to get happy because we're going to focus on a lot of good things, all right? So, Olin, as we really start kicking off the show, what is something about this A&M defense we can lock it down and say, yeah, this is going to happen, stone cold?
I got 2 things, so I'll just go with one because you only asked for one. But no, so number one, I'm going to say that they're going to have their best pass rush since 2017, when I think they had 43 sacks and averaged 3.6 a game. Now, to say that they're going to have more sacks than last year would be an easy thing to say because you got more games.
Right.
But they averaged 2.8, which is not bad, 2.8 sacks a game. I'm thinking with this pass rush next year, they're going to average more than 3 a game.
I would love to see that more than 3 a game. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's my stone cold. Now, if I was going to throw in another one, I'd say that they're going to create more turnovers. Why? Because of that pass rush.
Okay, so it goes hand in hand with what I'm thinking. I think the A&M secondary is going to be elite this year. And part of the reason is I think, super senior feeling, veteran leadership, and I think just Jalen Jones is going to take his game to another level. I do. I believe that.
Well, I agree with all that, plus the fact that Damani Richardson, for all I know, is completely healthy, unlike last year. And I think that'll be a big difference. And also, Antonio Johnson is so good and such an emerging star, I believe, that you're going to have to play, and I'm talking to Leon O'Neal and I'm talking to Eric Young, you're going to have to play at peak level. Now, I'm not saying that they won't, because I'm a Leon O'Neal fan, but I think you're going to have to play at peak level to keep him from coming in and not, forcing you to the sideline.
Sure. I think that's fair. The great Richard Zane, listening to the show over there, he sends me a text that Kurt Henry is Pat's nephew. I figured, and he's made a name for himself there with New Mexico, so happy to hear he is joining the team. All right, so I always do kind of like a hint to what we're going to do in the next segment. Not necessarily a tease, but I kind of set it up because what we're doing next here on TexAgs Radio is 21 and 21. Our number 7. I wonder if it has to do with the defense and anything I talked about. That's coming up next on the show.
This is Aggieland's home for sports. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
We think it's time for a laugh. Bryan Broadcasting and the Nikki Peterson Talent Network present Good Clean Fun, a comedy night with Carrie Pomeroli.
So you guys, yes, I am a member of the Mommy Mafia. I have 2 kids. I have a 4-year-old and a good one.
Hollywood's favorite clean comedian is live in College Station Friday, September 3rd at 7 p.m. at Skybreak Church.
I was in the Zumba class, and there's this teacher, right? And she's all cute and sassy, and she's like, shake what your mama gave you. I'm in the back, going, my mama gave me sciatica and allergies.
Bring your friends, bring a date, bring anyone who's ready for a good time.
You guys, who's happy just to be out of the house? Really? Right?
Good Clean Fun, a comedy night with Carrie Pomeroli, September 3rd, presented by Nikki Peterson Talent Network. Be discovered. Thanks in part to our sponsors, Strata Auto Repair, Mark's Manny's Appliance Repair and Cleaning Service, Dirt Road Rustics Furniture and Home Decor, Buff City Soap, Soap Makery, and Longway Home Adoptables. Tickets, VIP, and group packages available at bryanbroadcasting.com.
The Bellucci Hour is back. It is back at the tap every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. thanks to King Ranch Saddle Shop. Join Billy Liucci of TexAgs, TexAgs.com, TexAgs Radio, and the Liucci Cast, along with Zach Taylor, the Infomaniac, and Sports Director of Bryan Broadcasting. Monday, Thursday, 6 p.m. It's the Bellucci Hour, happy hour, and it's all thanks to King Ranch Saddle Shop. Let the Bellucci Hour get you ready for Aggie football 2021.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thank you to all our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all year long. Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Swartman Flooring, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, Park at Traditions Exceptional Senior Living, Cherry Ruffino Broker Realtor with Coldwell Banker Apex Realtors, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Today, millions of people all across America are building a life in recovery from addiction and mental illness, helping themselves
and helping each other, with friends, family, and community lending their strength and support.
Join the Voices for Recovery.
Together, we are stronger.
For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders, for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The best is yet to come in College Station.
Chase Lane is in for a touchdown! Yes!
Head coach Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies are ready to rise to the top of the SEC.
Swing to Anias, he's in the end zone, a 6-yard reception.
Join us Saturday, September 4th. It's the season opener versus the Kent State Golden Flashes on your home for Aggies football, the Texas A&M Sports Network.
Listen to Aggie football on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Online at radioaggieland.com. Or tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150.
It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So, OB, did you see the picture or the video that's making the rounds of the University of Texas players doing the fake bike thing?
Yeah.
That's a good look. That's awesome. I think we should recreate that with Dalton, Richard, even you.
No.
Maybe Gabe. How about Gabe?
Yeah, I could see that. But I don't think Dalton or Richard would buy in.
You don't think so?
No.
I think we should try it. Dalton, are you in?
I mean, I'm a team player, but probably not that.
So what we'll do is we could have Richard on the bottom, Dalton on the top, and you had to have, it was 3 people, right?
Well, yeah, I don't think that's going to hold.
For video's sakes, I think it would be fantastic.
I'm just thinking.
He said
heavy.
I'm on the bottom.
Yeah, you put your heavy.
I was just trying to do the visual.
The cheerleaders when they do the pyramid,
Yes.
They always have the little stronger girls on the bottom, the lighter girls on top.
So I bring this up because
not that Zane's a light girl or anything.
Well,
he's
very svelte.
But where are you going with this?
Well, I bring it up because I don't want to hear any more slander for A&M videos. What was that SEC video from back in the that is way worse than anything I've ever seen. I mean, and it was funny, but it's totally Texas. It just fit the narrative in my head.
I looked at that and thought I could use that for negative recruiting for the rest of time.
Yes.
That's all I came away with. This is your Texas. Look how they train.
Anytime anybody posts that SEC video that A&M, somebody from A&M made, whoever it was, there was one that was out there. Dalton, you know which one I'm talking about? There was one that people were making fun of recently. I think it's old.
It was the one A&M was joining the SEC. They did all the opposing fans chants.
Yes.
Shout out Clay Taylor, Big Blue Nation. That's his favorite one.
Yeah, so anytime that video circulates again, just use this. You don't know which. We'll show you at the break.
Just what's wrong with that? Saying, hey, this is.
It wasn't. There was nothing wrong with it. I just think seeing Aggies doing other people's.
Oh, the Aggies were doing other people's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So people had fun with it.
I thought you were saying maybe they showed Alabama fans saying "Roll Tide."
No. It was Aggies doing everybody's and.
Yeah, that's pretty. That is pretty lame.
You're not going to do a horns up ever on this campus. So
no.
But anytime that it comes up again. By the way, we're about to get into 21 and 21. I do got to.
I came away thinking that they don't have to worry about toxic masculinity on the Texas football team when I saw that. That's what I came away with. No toxic masculinity.
So let me say hi to the YouTube folks out there. Trenton, I see you out there. Appreciate you. We are so close to 5,000 and subscribers. When we get to 5,000, the last I checked, what is it, 4.87 thousand. So we're right there, right on the cusp. The day that we get to 5,000, maybe it's tomorrow, so tell your friends to subscribe. We'll do all 3 hours on YouTube, and that means you'll get to see Billy Liucci live and in person tomorrow. We usually do about the first hour and a half just to whet the appetite. But as a gift to our subscribers, we'll do 3 hours once we get to 5,000.
Okay, that's something to shoot for.
Why not, right? All right, now, as I've derailed the show completely, let's go to 21 and 21, presented by Factory Builder Stores, celebrating over 30 years as the largest contract distributor in Texas. Factory Builder Stores can service builders and general public with locations throughout Texas, including right here in College Station on Old Welborn Road and Rock Prairie, just on the west side of the railroad tracks. Go see our buddies Jason and John. They're going to take great care of you for all of your appliance needs. Number 7, Jalen Jones.
Golly, Jalen Jones, man, that guy he could be number 1 this time next year.
He could be.
I mean, go back to two memories. Number 1, early in the Alabama game, gets beat by John Mechie. Okay, that's going to happen, especially when you're in your second game as a collegiate. Then fast forward, he continually got better. Fast forward to the Orange Bowl. And I remember a play. I think it was in the third quarter, but I could be wrong. But Jalen Jones is covering a guy going to the out, toward the flag, toward the pylon. Sam Howell then thinks his tight end is going to be open, not down the seam, but close. And Jalen Jones reads it, comes off his man, and makes a diving breakup of the pass. And you're thinking, I'm watching that and thinking, that's otherworldly. That's what elite cornerback play is, not just covering your man to where the quarterback says, okay, that's not the guy, that's not the read because he's covered. I'm going to go to this guy, and he reads it and comes off, and he comes out diving and knocks the ball away, and it could have been a touchdown. That's an example of the progress that he made last year, from going from, hey, I'm a guy not long out of high school finding my way, to I'm a guy at the end of my freshman year making elite cornerback plays. And I think you're going to see more of the elite cornerback plays than you are the occasional, getting beat like every cornerback does for the rest of this guy's career.
Looking at his
which will be 2 more years.
30 tackles last year, 1 for loss, 7 passes defended, 1 interception in 10 games. He played so well. And when you're in the secondary, when you're a defensive back, that is a position that takes time to really understand opposing offenses. You see it all the time in the NFL. When you get to a higher level of offensive play and higher level, it's not like you can just turn it on right away. His talent shined last year in such a limited time as a first-year starter. I was just very happy with the way he developed, and I think, as you mentioned, next year he might be that top defender.
I mean, he could. He's really, really good. Man, I'm going to go way out on a limb here. He's not there yet, but I've said it many times that the best cornerback I've seen play here was Aaron Glenn. And I think by the end of his career, Jalen Jones will be looking at him. And there's been some really good ones since then. Sammy Davis comes to mind. I think by the end of Jalen Jones's career, we may be saying, you know what, this is the best cornerback at A&M since Aaron Glenn.
Or in that conversation. That would be, again, we're doing Stone Cold Locks and about the defense today, and he's one of the reasons I feel so good about the defense and that secondary in general. Just you combine him, his youth, his speed, his length, with some veteran leadership back there. That could be a position of strength this year that people have ignored.
But, he has all the things you just said, besides the youth, but the length and the speed. But what it comes down to is he just knows how to play football. He knows how to play his position. And, you've seen guys that are fast that, still get beat and things like that. He has all the physical tools, but he just knows how to play. I mean, he's just a good football player, blessed with a lot of tools. I've seen guys that were good football players, but they could only go so far because they weren't blessed physically.
Right.
Well, this guy's a good football player who was, absolutely blessed physically.
What did Miles Jones call it last week? Jones Island? I mean, they're going to have Jones Island this year. I do believe that. And he's the kind of guy that can cover big, fast, small. He can cover anybody on the field.
Yeah, I would feel good about him in any matchup. Again, am I saying he's going to be this lockdown corner? Yeah. Am I saying he's locked down everybody? No.
Nobody is.
But I'm going to like my chances to at least get a stalemate with Jalen moving forward against just about anybody. When Miles Jones said Jones Island, it makes me wonder which Jones he was referring to. I think he meant maybe it's the Jones Islands,
The islands of Jones. Yeah, I think he just meant the whole secondary is an island.
Well, they always say the cornerback, right, is out on an island.
Yes.
Well, these are 2 big cornerbacks. They're Greenland. Greenland and Australia. I mean, those are 2 big islands. And they're playing really well, too. And I really feel confident about Jalen Jones, what he's going to be.
I would feel confident about his position even if the defensive line wasn't so good. You combine him with that defensive line, that's where those picks are going to come into play.
Well, when you have better athletes in the secondary than you've had, and you put really good athletes back there with a pass rush, that's when they become like spiders waiting for a fly to make a mistake. If it's not a pinpoint perfect pass, and sometimes maybe if it is, they'll be there to claim it. But when you see a quarterback under duress and he can't make the pass that he wants to make, it might be it might be delivered earlier than he wants, or he may not have been able to get the full motion or whatever. Then you might see a ball that's just a little bit off target or not arriving with the velocity that normal, and you have guys like Jalen Jones that are going to be ready to pounce on that.
Hey, I didn't announce the show because we got off on a rant to start off, but Tom Turboville is going to join the show at 9:05. Looking forward to catching up with him, longtime A&M sideline reporter, so we'll catch up with Tom. We also have, Bird Coon coming in studio with a player. We're looking forward to that one as well. And Rocky Bernard was supposed to be with us last week, had some phone issues. He's going to join us today at 10:35. That is the lineup for right now. But I want to talk about my friends at the Association of Former Students. Love those guys. They do such great work for all of us out there. Porter Garner is just a wonderful leader, been with the organization for so long, and he just cares. That guy just cares, as does everybody involved with the association, the oldest organization serving A&M in support of that Aggie network. We're talking about 140 years out there. And those gifts have empowered the association to be here, there, and everywhere. And you think about it, all the things that they have provided throughout the years, the disability awareness, educational programming, Warrior Scholar Project, you've got the mental health programming, Midnight Yell Security, academic scholarships to students, and none of that is possible without your help. For $100 a year, about $9 a month, you get the decal, the plaque, and the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping Aggies. I want to encourage you to give back to the Association of Former Students. To learn more about their impact or get involved, make a gift, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Now on display at the Arts Council, Refrigerator Art. Art created during summer art camps and Saturday adult classes will be displayed in the lobby gallery through the end of August. The Prenatal Clinic is now accepting honoree nominations for the 28th annual You're the Tops event. The nomination form can be downloaded at bcsprenatal.org. The deadline is August 31st. A free seminar for seniors on evaluating your home for safety, comfort, and aging is being held the afternoon of Wednesday, September 1st. Contact the Mature Well Lifestyle Center to register. Registration is now open for nonprofits wanting to participate in this year's Brazos Valley Gives event. Register at brazosvalleygives.org. You can hear Aggie football, Aggie basketball, and Aggie baseball right here on Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Online, listen to your favorite Aggie teams play at radioaggieland.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
There's a Kubota for every job. There's a Kubota for every harvest. There's a Kubota for every task. And Normandy Tractor for a limited time only. Take the drive to Normandy, Texas, and let Vernon and the boys show you what they have. Get the new Kubota BX 1880 16.6 horsepower tractor and a Kubota loader with a quick attach bucket now through December 31st, 2021. For a cash price of only $12,950 or payments as low as $170 per month. With no money down, based on 0% down, 1.99% APR for 84 months. Normandy Tractor has over 8 acres of Kubota tractors, Kubota RTVs, ATVs, and Kubota mowers to choose from. They're at the corner of Highway 39 and OSR in Normandy, Texas. And remember, nobody beats Normandy Tractor. Nobody.
Now through December 31st, 2021. For warranty terms, see Kubota's limited warranty at KubotaUSA.com or your Kubota dealer.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family. Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
Hey y'all, this is Marty Smith.
And I'm Ryan McGee. And we are
Marty and McGee. Check us out every Saturday morning on ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
Of course, we'll be all over the biggest news in the world of sports.
And plenty of that Marty and McGee type stuff.
Like the Hillbilly Headlines.
And some of the craziest callers you've ever heard in your life.
It might be the only reason to wake up that early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure. It's Marty and McGee.
Saturday mornings, 6 to 9.
Here on The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Continuing on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here on a Thursday morning. OB with us, the Go Hour, and the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to join now by Stephen McGee, Paragon Financial Advisors, our quarterback, our buddy who does it all, breaks it down, and he's joining the show here on a Thursday. How are you, Stephen?
Hey, good morning, guys. Who picked the music this morning?
I got to explain it. So I didn't pick it, for the record, but we are experimenting with YouTube. So we're doing the show on YouTube for about an hour, hour and a half every morning, and we cannot play the music we love because of copyright reasons. So we have to use YouTube music. So that is now your theme song when you come on the show on Thursdays.
I gotcha. It makes more sense now. I was trying to figure out what genre of music that is, and it has a hint of like Latin or like Latino music, you know, with a little bit of like Halloween scary theme mixed in there.
I hear the Halloween and I hear very bad theme music. That's what I hear.
I hear it too.
Yeah, it was an awkward silence by all of us. Hey, Stephen, so I read an article, or excuse me, I read a post on the message boards. Cover 3 has a podcast out, and Danny Cannell and the group are talking about A&M win total of 9.5. A couple of the guys had them below, and I think Danny actually had us above 9.5, if I remember correctly. But the big topic was Jimbo not evolving with these new offenses out there, and I kind of countered with the thought of he couldn't go big play because of injuries last year. He had to evolve with what he had. When you think about Jimbo's offense, has he evolved over the years, you think?
You know, I think he's probably a little bit more behind the curve in that regard. I think he kind of does what he does and it works. He likes to get in, you know, old school formations, you know, run the football. We saw that against Florida. Guess what? We didn't need a new school form of football for it to work against Florida, did we? So, you know, there's got to be some level of defense. I think he's very confident in the offense that he has and that he's run for numerous years. I wouldn't say, though, that it's as trendy as what you'd see, like more like the spread systems, Oklahomas of the world. You know, it's obviously pretty complex. It's a pro-style system. It puts a lot on the players. That's good and bad, right? We've discussed that at length. But I kind of agree with him. I don't think he just is way out in front of trends in football.
Steven, so when one of the things they pointed out was time of possession, do you worry about that? Their thinking is against lesser teams, you're keeping them in the game because these games are so close. OB will tell you that they just grind you in the fourth quarter. It doesn't matter how close the game is entering it.
Yeah, you know, I think that time of possession matters, especially when you're the less talented team. I don't know what the official stats are for Alabama last year, but I would assume that there was probably quite a few games where they didn't win the time of possession battle, but they probably won the game 62-0 because they score so quickly. So I think that the most important stats in football will always continue to be, number one, turnover battle. There's no correlation in any sport that I'm aware of that has a higher correlation to winning a game than the turnover stat. Second, I think, is explosive plays. So you can't be so conservative offensively trying to limit turnovers and being afraid to turn the ball over that you're not generating the big play. And I think that's probably the next step for this Aggie offense. We've certainly had quite a few explosives, but I think we talked about it last week and the week before. Just getting some more explosive plays outside, getting a healthy Caleb Chapman will certainly help. But you have, you know, Waldmeyer, you have Aniyah Smith, you have Spiller. All those guys generated some explosive last year.
Yeah, it's funny to me. Again, I've said it before. A&M wasn't ready to play against Vanderbilt, but then they go out and beat Florida, a wide open team. And after that, you know, Mississippi State, they beat by 2 touchdowns. Well, that was Mississippi State scoring a touchdown when A&M was driving, and they had a pass go off the one of the players' chest. I think it was Aniyah, and it ends up being a touchdown the other way. And then they get a garbage touchdown late. You know, that could have easily been a 31-7 type of game. Arkansas, they had a huge lead in the fourth quarter and quit playing. So Arkansas made it look a lot closer than it was. They go out South Carolina, win 48-3. They play LSU in a rainstorm. I guess what I'm getting at, Tennessee, Auburn, they miss a really short field goal. Tennessee, they throw an interception in the end zone when they're snapping it, like around the 10. so I just don't get the whole criticism that, wow, this team, they kept other teams in the game because of their style of play. They kept other teams in the game because, quite frankly, sometimes they made some mistake, or those other teams really weren't in the game. It just looked like it was at the end because, again, Arkansas, I think, scored 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think if you were to ask Mike Elko, does time of possession matter? I think every D coordinator will say yes, because they, in the world of up-tempo offenses that score quickly, that are on and off the field, they want to see that offense grind out like A&M's offense was able to do at times last year and keep their guys on the bench. That's an important stat, I think. So if you ask a defensive coordinator who's trying to limit points, yeah, time of possession really does matter. But, we play Ole Miss, it's probably going to look more like a basketball game at the end of the day. It's going to be up and down the field. So beating them, time of possession is not going to matter as much, but I guarantee you turnovers will have an impact on who wins that football game.
Steven, so we're doing our 21 and 21 series, and we are now at number 7 with Jalen Jones. And what a phenomenal first year for him last year. Just your thoughts on the player he was last year and where his potential is going to be this year.
And he had so many bright moments, and I think he took some big steps. Early weeks, he looked at times he was a little out of place and got beat deep. Typical for a young guy, but then at the end of the year, you're seeing him make some phenomenal plays. And those are the type of big time explosive plays, if you will, at a cornerback position that will help this defense really take the next step. If you look at one position defensively that we've not necessarily had a lack of talent at, but we just had a lack of production at, I think you could argue the corner position has been one of our bigger lack of production, if you will. I don't know why that is, because we've had corners go on and play in the NFL and had good careers. It just at A&M didn't work for whatever reason. We were giving up a lot of explosive plays. So I think the Achilles heel offensively is almost the same as what it is defensively, is at that corner position. And Jalen Jones, to me, is the key to solidifying that. I mean, we have some really good young guys, and he was probably the bright spot, in my opinion, last year, especially of all the youth that came in on the defensive side of the ball on the back end. So I'm optimistic that he can have a huge impact on Mike Elko's defense.
Yeah, I think he already has, and I think he's just going to get better.
Yeah, I'm just excited about him. I mean, 1 year in the books. Hey, so we have this question for the show today, Stephen. Just give me a stone-cold lock prediction about this defense. It can be anything. It can be it's going to lead the SEC in interceptions. What is something, and if you need a minute to gather your thoughts, Obi, remind us, what was yours?
Well, my number one call was that A&M will have its best pass rush since 2017 with a healthy Clemens and DeMarvin and the inside guys like PV and McKinley Jackson. And there's Tyree Johnson. There's so many guys, so much depth behind them that I believe is going to be able to get to the passer as well.
And you also had a follow-up to that, too. It was connected with it.
Right. And because of that, I think you'll see A&M's number of turnovers forced spike. I think you're going to see a team with more interceptions than they've had in a while and maybe even more fumbles because as I'm sure Stephen knows or would agree, most fumbles occur when you have a quarterback getting sacked.
Yep. Amen. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I don't know what the update is with McKinley Jackson and how long they're expecting him to be out. Do y'all know?
I think Liucci pontificated, if you will, 1 or 2 games, right?
Yeah, I think he's speculating that'll be 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games.
Yeah, getting him back will be huge, but the deepest defensive line that we could have probably had in a long time, I don't know if ever, it's certainly up there. There's so much talent, and we talked about the depth. So you'd hope that I would love to see that this defense continues at the same progression they've been stopping the run. I mean, that's probably been the strength of our defense for the last 4 years at least. The box has been shut down against pretty much all of the great running backs we've played. There's just not many teams that have beat us on the ground. It's been through the air. So I think containing the run will be really important. Not having Buddy Johnson, though, is the one factor where I'm kind of like, I want to see what happens at linebacker. But to OB's point, getting pressure on the quarterback, I could see that being one of the better years we've had since when Von Miller and those guys. So that will be the all-important stat, in my opinion, defensively, and how much success they have is how often they are around the quarterback's feet.
Hey, I want to bring this up because this was a headline earlier that I wanted to touch on. Georgia, they got Clemson coming up for that first game, but it looks like Darnell Washington, Tiki Smith are out. That's on top of George Pickens also being out with his torn ACL. How in trouble is Georgia going to be? Goodness gracious, that's a big part of the receiving corps.
Well, they knew Pickens was going to be out, since the summer. Obviously, anytime you're going to play Clemson, you want to be at full strength. Now, I don't know if Georgia may be so strong that they can absorb those losses, but it would definitely make me think twice before betting on them.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. Georgia has always been a very run-first offense, and they want to pound the football, and then they do the play passes where they get the one-on-ones because they're running the ball so much. But I would say that their mentality is run first, but doesn't mean that those receivers aren't so important to the offense. And when the really good Georgia years, they've always had a great number one receiver.
That is true.
You ever notice nobody in the national media says Kirby Smart's is behind the times on offense?
Nobody says that at all. In fact, what I was listening to, the Cover 3, they said he's kind of evolved a little bit. Well, let's see if it evolves this year. Hey, we'll continue on with Stephen McGee here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. When we come back, that is bullcrap. That's next on TexAgs.
This is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
For service you can trust and a job done right the first time, contact Tom Line Plumbing and Irrigation. Whether it's commercial or residential, new construction or service, they have you covered. Tom and Shelby Line have been serving the Brazos Valley for 11 years, and their team of plumbers have more than 40 years of experience. Customer service is their highest priority. Trust your every plumbing need to Tom Line Plumbing and Irrigation. Click TomLynePlumbing.com today.
When seconds matter in the game, every single decision made can mean a big win or a frustrating loss. When it comes to buying your next home and selling your existing home in the current market, every decision can mean serious money. Aggie fans, it's Dave South, and as you know, I've studied the best players and the best teams to represent our A&M family. One thing I've learned over the years, the best coaches have the respect of their team and the 12th man, you, the fans. In Bryan College Station, no realtor has more 5-star reviews on Google than Lance Lester and his team at the Lester Group. Why is that? Simple. No one offers more options that benefit you. If you want to buy your next home before you sell your current home, Lance can help you do that. If you want to know the date and price that you can count on your home selling for, Lance can guarantee it in writing. When the game is on the line, you want a leader with a proven track record calling the shots. Get your home sold faster and for the most money. Work with my friend Lance Lester and the Lester Group. Go to thelestergroup.com. That's thelestergroup.com and experience lightning in a bottle selling your home.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all season long. First Financial Bank, Bryan College Station Toyota, Rudy's Barbecue, Schulte Roofing, The Sleep Station, and Pioneer Steel. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with Jeff Bergman, the voice of everyone's favorite cartoon characters.
Well, I have to say the voice of the rabbit dog.
Nice. I say foghorn leghorn. No, I say nice boy, but about as sharp as a sack of wet mice.
Sports Talk, the voice of reason. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Thanks, Chip.
Music sounds like a good drama you can watch on NBC. I think I called it a ER, like the start of a new ER. Maybe it was a different song for ER, but it does sound like a drama. It's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, our thanks to the BCSI hotline that brings us Stephen McGee. If you want to get your text in, you can at 979-693-1150. We go back to Stephen McGee. It's time for That Is Bullcrap, presented by Tom Line Plumbing. For service you can trust, consider Tom Line Plumbing. Great friend of Stephen McGee, longtime trusted plumber in and around the Brazos Valley. Check them out, tomlineplumbing.com. All right, Stephen, tell us something that's bullcrap.
I think my bullcrap of the week is Gabe Bach's post of dog crap. No. In all seriousness, I think the situation in Afghanistan and the way our government has handled it is really heartbreaking. I mean, I just to see people, fighting for their lives, and then how we handled that, and then the people, especially that were helping our government, at like interpreters, locals that assisted us in our mission over there and protecting freedom and protecting our own lives. And then just to watch them almost turn their back against these people really does break my heart. In my opinion, the United States of America should show up with all military might and remind people what this country is all about. And that freedom certainly doesn't come without a cost, but you do not mess with the US of A. I would send that message clear, and I would send it strong. And it really does break my heart. These people, though they're not necessarily American citizens, they, in every sense of the word, are Americans, and the way that they supported our government. I hate to see it.
Stephen, I got to give you props on something. I feel like every week when we do That's Bullcrap, you and I, we're like, Obi and I, we find something that's good. You come with like some hot takes that are well thought out, and they could always go viral, and just a wonderful thoughts there. So, Stephen, thank you for that. Obi, your turn, my friend.
Yeah, well, I've been told not to be so political, so I'll just say ditto. So, and I'll take it back to sports, even though I could definitely add to Stephen's sentiments there. I think what's bullcrap is the whole, again, we talked about the whole criticism of Jimbo Fisher's offense. In 2013, when they won the national championship, Florida State was 6th in the nation in total offense. And then you can fast forward to, I think it was 2018 when he was at A&M. A&M was 15th in the nation in total offense. So exactly why are they behind? Now, I think a smart coach looks at what he has and figures out the best way to win with the team on the field. When you were at Arkansas, Houston Nutt, and you had and Stephen, I'd like your point on your thoughts on this. When you've got Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis at running back, and Austin, I think it was Casey Dick or Austin Dick at maybe even Mitch Mustaine at quarterback, are you going to throw the ball a lot, or are you going to run it a lot?
Run.
If I'm Georgia, if I'm Vince Dooley going all the way back to 1980 and Buck Ballew's my quarterback, but I've got Herschel Walker in the backfield, what do you think I'm going to do? I want to throw every down, or am I going to give it to Herschel Walker? Right? I'm going to give it to Herschel Walker and win a national championship. So I just think you do – I think a good coach adjusts to what his talent is best suited to do. And you got a bunch of media guys that are saying, well – they're not throwing the ball every play, so they must not be a good offense. And that's just, once again, it's media guys being media guys. And I'm one of them, but hey, I like to think I'm one of the smarter ones.
Well, we make some. All right, so here's my bullcrap. It is bullcrap that I go pick up my kids from school, and it takes 47 minutes at either school. I got 4 kids all across College Station. The pickup line to pick up it should not be that long. I shouldn't have to wait between 3 schools an hour and a half to get a kid. And I had to have the twins walk over to us from half a mile away because it was going to be faster than waiting. And then my wife did it yesterday. And again, she said, I was there for 45 minutes. And then the buses come an hour later. I'm going to get some hate on.
I remember that that line at Greens Prairie.
Oh, it's no joke, my friend.
But
Great education.
They get their kids out safely.
They do. But I was shocked how long it's like almost dinner time. I'll get to you soon enough. Thank you.
That is bullcrap. I go past one of those lines every day, leaving the office, or on the way to office, I guess I should say, and it's all the way out the street, and it looks painful.
But is that because of the school and their plan, or is that just because of where it's located and that there's not a...
Probably that, and just not a lot of entrances, and it's the first week of school, so more parents are involved in picking up. I'm sure it'll get better. I hope.
I don't know, but if I
Make
would
them walk.
bet on that.
Tell them it builds character.
Yeah. I heard how you were raised, Dalton. You got to cook, you got to walk home, baby. That's fine.
Amen.
But they're very good about making sure their kids get in the car with the...
They're great. Hey, safety first. I'm cool with all that. I'm very safe. Hey, Stephen, thank you so much, brother. Take care.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going.
See ya. Stephen McGee. That's Bullcrap presented by Tom Line Plumbing. OB, great first hour. Appreciate you, man.
Enjoyed it.
All right, in the next hour, Tom Turboville going to join the show. We're going to break things down. We might have a guest at 9:35, and Bert Kuhn coming in studio with a player at 10:05. That and Rocky Bernard as well at 10:35. Thank you for listening. 2 more hours to go on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
You're listening to Aggieland. Only all sports station. The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
When we started Intercon in early 1991, we were well aware that we would be competing with some companies that use unscrupulous techniques to make a quick sale, such as bait and switch, or 40% off if you commit today, or misleading incomplete quotes. Intercon's practice is to be completely honest and encourage prospective customers to talk to our former customers. We've encouraged customers to get multiple quotes. We are confident and proud of our value proposition for windows, glass, and solar screens. We never want anyone to rush into a decision they will regret in the future. Just remember, warranties are only as good as the people who provide them and are servicing the area when situations arise. This is our home and only marketplace, and we will protect our home turf. You've probably heard the saying, the buck stop here, and that is with me, Brad Beard, president and co-owner of Intercon, LLC.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Listen to The Zone online at RadioAggieland.com. Don't miss Louie, Chip, TexAgs, or your favorite Aggie teams as they play on The Zone. Listen online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with the news update on The Zone. It turns out there were 2 people in a vehicle that crashed into a retail building near the College Station Walmart last Sunday night, where the driver was found dead of a gunshot wound. College Station police announced the passenger was released from the hospital yesterday, arrested and taken to jail. 43-year-old Con Kim Fan is held in lieu of a $250,000 bond on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. A College Station apartment resident saw who took a package outside his front door during the midnight hour. According to the arrest report, 21-year-old Scott Carrion admitted to taking the package. Carrion is out of jail after posting bond following his arrest on a charge of mail theft. A Bryan mother was arrested for endangering her 4-year-old child due to the living conditions in her apartment. The child's and the mother's bedroom contained trash, spoiled food, toys, and clothes. 27-year-old Sadie Hauser was also charged with resisting arrest. The weekly report to Brazos County Commissioners of the population in the Juvenile Detention Center is typically acknowledged with a thank you. That was not the case this week.
A deputy director in the Juvenile Services Department, Joel Hine, presented this week's population report.
Our numbers this morning are looking better. We have 34 total youth in detention.
That was followed by the reaction from County Commissioners Irma Cawley and Nancy Berry.
That seems awful high for our department.
Yeah, it's up from last week for sure.
According to minutes of last week's commission meeting, the juvenile detention population was 34, the same as this week. Going back to May 25th, the minutes of 7 of the last 10 commission meetings shows the population was between 30 and 37. For 3 weeks in June, the population in juvenile detention was between 23 and 25. Bill Oliver, 1620 94.5 WTAW.
For more news, go online to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
In remembrance of the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, the 12th Man Foundation will be standing for America to recreate the 2001 red, white, and blue out of Kyle Field. For the Aggie football home opener on September 4th, all fans in attendance are asked to wear red, white, or blue depending on your ticket location. To find out your color assignment and where to buy your official event t-shirt, go to 12thman.com and click the quick link to Red, White, and Blue Out. All proceeds from shirt sales benefit Texas A&M Task Force 1 and Points of Light Foundation.
Howdy, we're Chad and Darla Wooten, your local owners at Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue.
We just want to send a big, heartfelt thank you out to everyone for voting us Best Barbecue and Catering in the Brazos Valley for 2 consecutive years.
Dine in, picked up, or catered, we encourage you to enjoy our family's award-winning barbecue cooked cowboy style over mesquite coals.
Experience the taste of locally Aggie-owned, nationally recognized Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue. Voted Best Barbecue in the Brazos Valley, and proud supporter of Texas A&M Athletics.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M football boasts one of the most experienced secondaries in the SEC this year. The Aggies have a total of 4 senior defensive backs, led by super senior Miles Jones. Now Jones on his decision to return for yet another year.
A big reason was there's just a lot of unfinished business for me. I felt like personally, I still haven't reached my potential. I still have a long ways to go. And also just for the program, we still have a lot to accomplish here.
Now, Miles' decision to return, combined with sophomore Jalen Jones, means the Aggies have both of their starting cornerbacks returning. The Maroon and White ranked 56th in the country in pass defense last year. We'll see if they can improve on that this season. Now, for more insight into the team and fall camp, tune into the Liucci Hour tonight from 6 to 7 right here on The Zone. 9th-ranked Aggie women's soccer opens up its regular season slate tonight as it pays a visit to top-ranked Florida State. The Ags and Seminoles last squared off in 2016 when FSU pulled out a 1-0 victory at Ellis Field. Things get underway tonight at 6 o'clock in Tallahassee with broadcast on Gospel 97.3 FM and RadioAggieland.com. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thank you to all our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all year long. Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Swartman Flooring, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, Park at Traditions Exceptional Senior Living, Cherry Rufino Broker Realtor with Coldwell Banker Apex Realtors, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Sorry. This music, oh, it's great. TexAgs Radio presented. Oh, YouTube, you did great on this one. Presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, 911 University Drive East in College Station. Shop online at davidgardnersjewelers.com. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I'm breaking all things down as we get closer to the start of the season. So I got to tell you guys a story. I think the gym has become my new recruiting place for our guests. So a couple days ago, I didn't go up to him because he was leaving, but a couple days ago I saw Dave South working out, and I'm like, wow. And then a week before that, I saw Tom Turboville working out at the Gold's Gym that I work at. I'm like, this place is heaven to find guests. And we're now going to the BCSI hotline, and we're joined by longtime A&M sideline reporter and former sports director at WTAW, Tom Turboville. Tom, how are you, sir?
Well, David, let me be the last to welcome you. Yeah, the gym seems to be the place for old guys anyway. You got Dave South, who's older than me, and me, who's older than dirt. So there you go. Yeah, I guess the gym is the place.
Yeah, I saw you there. So full disclosure, I had my AirPods on. I was getting ready to do a little bike. And then you're sitting right next to me to the left. And I'm like, goodness gracious, I haven't seen you in so long. So when I used to work for Chip, you were obviously around. So I was doing some research before we started the interview. You retired on August the 17th. It is now August the 19th. So was it 2012, I believe?
Right, 9 years ago.
Wow, man, time flies, my friend.
You like how I do that arithmetic so quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, the math doesn't leave you. Yeah, 9 years ago, I did my my final sportscast on WTAW. And you want to know what the lead story was on that sportscast of, what'd you say, August 17th, 2012.
I'm going to assume something to do with Johnny Football.
Good. It was that Kevin Sumlin had named Johnny Manziel as the starter.
Wow.
Over Showers.
Jamil Showers, that's right, yeah.
Jamil Showers, right. That was my lead story. And I had to call Alan Cannon that day to get the correct pronunciation for Manziel because, he was that unknown. I knew he had been a red shirt the year before when I was doing sidelines with Dave and Dave the year before in 2011, which was my last year to do sidelines. He was just a kid that kept getting in my way while I was trying to do my job. He was just a redshirt freshman, just sort of lost there on the sidelines. And but no, that was my lead story 9 years ago. That how did that work out?
I think it worked out pretty well. And just kind of thinking back to that moment, as you had just retired and you saw A&M entering the SEC. What an amazing – for you, you could be a fan and enjoy football at the highest level and not worry about work. How was that first year?
Well, you mean the first year in the SEC?
Yeah, first year in the SEC and being in first year for retirement.
Well, the day after I retired, my wife and I took off for Nebraska, where we lived for 3 years. We went up there to see grandkids and to watch them play football. So instead of me watching Johnny Manziel for that 3-year odyssey of Manziel, or 2-year odyssey in person, I was watching the Beatrice, Nebraska Orangemen for those 3 years and enjoying every minute of it. So I was watching the Aggies intro into the SEC and the Johnny Manziel story from afar. I got to see it from mid-America, from Go Big Red country. And that was kind of interesting too. They weren't as into it as the folks down in Aggie land.
Well, that's right. So let's talk a little bit about just the excitement level for A&M football. Jimbo has established such a great team, recruiting great, just the vibe this year. As a fan, how excited are you for this 2021 season?
Very, mainly because it's not the 2020 season anymore. That's one thing to be excited about as far as the fans being back. As far as, as back to normal as we possibly can be. That's an exciting part about it. Jimbo Fisher's fourth year, and he seems to do exciting things in his fourth year. I'm right. Mm-hmm. It's his fourth year, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He did exciting things at Florida State in his fourth year, certainly. I don't know whether that has anything to do with it here, but there's, without getting into the X's and O's and who's playing, because as I told you yesterday, since I retired, I found that I don't have to know as much X's and O's and about the roster and as much as you and OB and Stephen and all that. No, I don't have to know all of that stuff. I can be more of a fan. But you mentioned Jimbo Fisher. I keep pulling my earplugs out. Here we go. You mentioned Jimbo Fisher, and I was thinking about that before we came on. I think you'd have to go back to R.C. Slocum to find a head coach who was more down with Texas A&M. I mean, into the whole Aggie spirit, into what's away from the field than Jimbo Fisher. I think a lot of people, when he came 4 years ago, wondered about that. Can a guy come from Tallahassee, from Florida State to College Station, Texas, and really get into the Aggie spirit, the Aggie traditions, as much as we want in a head coach? Can we get back to the R.C. Slocum days, who lived and breathed and bled Texas A&M? Can we get that with a guy from Florida? And I think a lot of people may have doubted that. We hired a big name, and that's good. It's the biggest name that A&M has hired since Jackie Sherrill, right? But are we going to is this going to be a coffee break for this coach? And I think that he has proven that he has grown to love this school and love this environment and love this community and love this town. Everything that comes out of his mouth says that. And I think that's a big part of it. Yeah, you got a great X's and O's guy and a guy who surrounds himself with great coaches and great people, and obviously a very good recruiter. But I think that other thing that Aggie fans want in a coach, he has proven to provide also, and that's a true love for Texas A&M. That's not saying anything against Kevin Sumlin or Mike Sherman, because both of those coaches had been here previously as assistant coaches, right? And so they knew Texas A&M, but I think Jimbo gets it as much as any coach since R.C. Slocum.
Tom, how was it roaming those sidelines for that time and just seeing everything you saw? Probably stuff you could not report on, stuff you could report on, some bickering, some laughs. Just kind of shed some light on that time.
Oh, I tell you what, it was a great time working with Dave South and Dave Elmendorf. I was down on the sideline, and it's something that I'll never forget. Dave South gave me that opportunity. I did it on and off for 10 or 11 years. I took a hiatus from it for a while and then came back. But it was tremendous being down that close. And you're right. There were things that I saw, things that I was told that I knew that I couldn't report on. But for the most part, everything was everything I could report on. And I think the most fun part were those years that I was down there with Billy Pickard. And, Billy ran a pretty tight sideline. And Billy wasn't always enamored with the media and what their job was to do. But Billy and I, from the time that I went to work for Texas A&M as sports information director in 1984, Billy and I, we never had a problem. Billy and I were close friends the whole way. So being down there with him and watching Billy up close and personal, that was always fun. Going from, walking around the stadium and reporting, things maybe away from the field. That was just a blast, something that I'll never forget. Dave used to let me call the field goals. I would position myself underneath the goalpost, or back behind the goal, not right underneath it, but behind the goalpost. And whenever there was a field goal kicked, he'd throw it down to me to report on it because of my angle. I could report that the field goal was good before the officials put their hands up in the air because I could see it coming. Dave's position from up in the press box, you can't always tell whether a field goal is through or not. So he gave me that job to report the field goal play. And I remember reporting a lot of great field goals that were winners, that were clutch field goals. I also remember the last field goal that I reported. And it was unfortunately, it was by the University of Texas kicker when they beat us in 2011. And that last game that we played against the University of Texas when they beat us on the last play of the game. Had to report that one too. So there's a lot of great memories from that sideline.
You brought up,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say you brought up one that was hard for me to stomach.
Yeah, it was hard for me too. Had to report on that one, right?
And you were gonna tell us another one. I think I cut you off before you did.
No, I guess the game that I remember the most, I guess it would have been. Okay, let me get my math right. It would have been 2007. I think that was the Fresno State game that the temperature on the field was like 117. I think when they put their thermometer on the track back then, it was the Fresno State game. And I guess I remember that one most because it's the only game that I actually, radioed up to Dave. During the game, I said, Dave, I got to go inside or I'm going to pass out. It was the hottest that I've ever been. If people remember that game, I think I'm getting the year right, 2007. The reason that I remember that is because in 2007, I was struck with a very bad case of Bell's palsy. That was about a week before the season started in 2007, and which lasted for about 9 months, and it left me with the whole right side of my face atrophied and slurred speech. I couldn't talk very well, and it was a rough deal. And Dave South, and I've always told this story, he could have said, Tom, go take care of yourself, get yourself healthy. I'll bring in somebody else this year to do sidelines. And you just go take care of yourself. And he could have said that to me, but he didn't. He said, Tom, can you do it? And I said, yeah, I think I can. And he said, well, go do it. So he left me out there that year. He left me out there to do the sidelines. And literally that year to report from the sidelines that year, the whole right side of my face was drooped. And I had to hold a mic in my left hand. Okay. I had my notes on a wrist, a quarterback wristband. I had my notes on that. Okay. And then I had to take my right hand and hold my mouth back like this. I'm showing you exactly what I did for the whole year. I had to hold my mouth back like that so I wouldn't slur my speech. And I did the whole year like that. And I did the whole for 9 months on the radio on WTAW like that. But I always tip a cap to Dave South for saying, you're part of the team. Go out there and do it. We're behind you 100%. So that was always something that was very, very special to me. And my wife was on the sideline for that Fresno State game. She was helping me hold my notes. Alan gave me an extra pass so she could help me because I was pretty much a one-armed guy. And that game went into overtime too. So we were 117 degrees into overtime. Yeah. Wow. And Stephen McGee almost hit my wife with an errant pass. I always told Stephen that too. So, but that's another one I remember.
Tom, I'll tell you what, I didn't know that story, and I just think it just speaks so much to the chemistry you guys had, the bond, the friendship, and this Aggie spirit as well. Just a wonderful story, and I didn't know you had to go through that. So you mentioned Texas earlier, and now that the last time you were on the sidelines was against Texas, well, here you are on my first time with TexAgs, and Texas seems to be coming back. What are your thoughts on the whole rivalry being renewed there eventually here in the SEC?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was surprised as most people when Brent broke that story during the SEC media days. I was as surprised as anybody that this was going to happen. But now that it has, and it's going to, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited about it. I think A&M and Texas belong together on the field of play, on the court of play. I think they belong. I think the fans want that. I think that Texas A&M has gotten themselves over the last 9 years of SEC play in a position to where nobody can call them the ugly stepchild anymore. I think they are the dominant program right now, football program in the state of Texas. A&M is. So I think if I'm a Longhorn fan, if I'm Texas, I'm thinking, my goodness, why couldn't we have, gone in 7 or 8 years ago when we were still out recruiting Texas A&M, and A&M wasn't Texas, but now Texas isn't Texas A&M now. I think we're the top dog right now. So I think it's a good time. Now, what's it going to be in 2025 if indeed it takes that long for Texas and OU to actually start competition? I understand that there are ways, and they can write a big old fat check to get in earlier. But if it is 2025, what's it going to be then? Who knows? That's 4 years away. So the kids that will be freshmen that year in 2025 right now are what? They're ninth graders. So who knows what it's going to be like in 2025? But no, overall, I'm excited about this. It's a super conference now. It's going to be more than a super conference then. The money is just going to be unbelievable. And I think the fans are the winner on this.
Tom, I think we should start a workout group with Aggie broadcasters there at Gold's Gym. We'll get Dave to join us, and we'll start doing a boot camp. How's that sound to you?
I think that, well, yeah, as long as we have young pups like you to run circles around us, that'll be good. Just don't, just wait for us and let us catch up with you.
You got it, my friend. I hope to see you soon, and thank you so much for coming.
David, I appreciate it. I like your Batman shirt. Almost wore my Superman shirt, but I couldn't find it.
Next time, my friend. You'll do it next time, all right?
David, welcome. Thank you. Welcome back to the community.
Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate it. He was always so kind to me when I was there at KZNE. Back in the day, I was there. It was WTAW, AM 1150, way back in the day. So appreciate Tom joining the show and giving us some insight to his career and his time following Texas A&M. I want to remind you guys, Text Radio, RADIO. I know you know how to spell it, 900-900, for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway, courtesy of our friends at Aggieland Outfitters. And I told you guys about, so I choose shirts based on the weather, right? I don't like to wear cotton if I think I might
Not
sweat.
how tight the sleeves are?
See, you guys, I will show you. I think this is an extra large for the record. I will show you that this is my Batman shirt. But regardless, young Dalton. So I pick shirts based on the weather. I don't like to pit. I don't like to have sweat stains. I don't like how that stuff looks. And then I don't like fake fabric that people make you think it's good. It's really not all that good. That's why I like to get my stuff at Aggieland Outfitters, because they choose the highest quality fabric. You just ask them, the brands that they pick. That's what they do. Fighting and the crew there, they are going to get the best quality out there, and you're going to just love it. And I'm right now looking at this soccer shirt that they have. It is the Adidas soccer shirt. 100% polyester, aero-ready technology, powered by moisture-wicking fabric that absorbs the water. So if you're a sweaty guy like me sometimes, and it gets very embarrassing, you have to kind of hide. I don't want to go out there. I don't want people to see the sweat stain. This is the kind of shirt you want to have. You can wear it on the sidelines. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It is all Aggie-centric, and it's just an amazing-looking shirt, perfect for wearing to all the soccer games, even the football games. Your new size Adidas 2021 soccer jersey, valued at $44.99. Go check it out at my friends at Aggieland Outfitters.
You're listening to The Zone. The Zone. Aggieland's all-sports station.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Because there's only one you, Vuse Alto is the vape as unique as you are. With Vuse by You, you can make your unique mix with any of 4 colors, 3 flavors, 3 nicotine levels, and infinite wrap designs. So how will you do you? Make Vuse Alto a vape that is yours. In store now. Discover more at Vuse.com. Vuse. Charge beyond. Vapor products. Underage sale prohibited. Website and offers restricted to age 21 and over tobacco consumers.
Hi, this is Jeff Vanderwood with Veribank. Veribank is continuing to grow in the Brazos Valley with a brand new full-service banking center on Highway 6 in front of Academy. We have a team of genuine bankers specializing in personal and business banking, wealth management, and investor real estate lending ready to serve you. Veribank is here to help you succeed financially, and you can bank on it.
Visit Verabank.com today. That's VERA Bank.com. Verabank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since 1957, Slovačić Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovačić is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovačić. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovačić Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
You can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon Dot or Echo. Step 1, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon Dot or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Welcome back to the show. Really appreciate Tom Turboville joining us here on the BCSI hotline. That was a good conversation with him. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. I have a couple open segments, so if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do that by calling us up or emailing the program. 979-693-1150 is the BCS.
Email? I think you would text the program.
Did I say
guy.
email?
Did
I say I'm holding in my hand an email?
I was say you got a fax machine back there I don't know about?
Well, I don't even know why I said email. I'm stuck in 1984. Maybe, I don't know why. So apologies there, but you can text the show if you'd like to on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. And I'm hanging out in the YouTube chat room and also in the texags.com/live chat room, whatever. And a couple things that are popping up at me. One of them is Dave South benches 500 pounds. I've been there. I've seen it. That is correct. Bohunk Ag. He does bench 500 pounds. He also says that Turboville, great guy. I agree with that. Also, I brought up this story about, during That's Bullcrap, about waiting in the car line for like 45 minutes. I think this happens at most schools. It's not like it's isolated to what I went through this week at Greens Prairie and whatnot. I only made that commentary because it took forever, and I wasn't expecting it to take forever. And then someone on the line did say, it's XCT87 says there's a thing called a school bus, Nuño. You're correct, there is a school bus. The problem with the school bus is my kids don't want to take the school bus. They're having to take the school bus in the evening. The older ones are in the afternoon. But it takes like over an hour to get home. So they get out at 3:50. They got home yesterday after 5. So we got to rush for soccer. We got homework, blah, 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 blah. So that's why they're asking me to come pick them up. And I'm like, I am not waiting at 3 schools, 40 minutes each. That ain't going to happen, guys. Even if we break off as a team, that is not happening. We can't do that. I don't know. Because I'm lazy. I just don't want to do it. I'd rather you wait in the school bus than me and you wait to meet up with each other. That's just the way I see it. And that's how I'm going to do it. As we go to the A&B text line, I'll read a couple of these for you. Here's one from Joshua. If Haynes King is the quarterback, does he put up similar numbers to Ryan Tannehill or Winston in their first years? I think that's an interesting question. When it comes to so this actually goes to a topic I'm going to get into a little bit later on in the show, but I will say this. I am not worried about big plays with Texas A&M. You see big plays with pro-style offenses. You just have to pick your chances. Not everything is going to be an air out. And I really believe the amount of weapons that Haynes or Zach are going to have to their disposal, including the backfield, including the tight ends, including a very loaded wide receiver, I am not worried at all about big plays. I'm not. Because I do believe Aniyah Smith is a big play player. If Moose Muhammad plays, big play player. Damon Demas, I expect him to contribute this year and be huge. Okay? Caleb Chapman, he was a big play player, only got to do it in a couple games. I want to see what he does this year healthy. Chase Lane, dependable. Someone's going to be left alone, and someone's going to have a big play. And the way OB brought it up is like if you're doubling up, Demas, or you're doubling up Aniyas, or however you do it, Jalen Preston, someone's going to be open, and there's going to be big plays. And I think the run game is going to open up. Again, when you have tight ends that can make plays, when you've got 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers that can make plays, and a backfield where you can hybrid and take somebody A-chain out there and do some stuff. You could bring back Anais and you know what is going to happen with Isaiah Spiller in the backfield. There's just so many big play potential, but be methodical. You got to be who you are. Can you evolve? Absolutely. But if you have a formula that works and you have one of the best backfields in the country, and I do believe that, if not the best, one of the 3 best in the country, then why would you only go to you play to your personnel. You play to what you have. All right, we'll continue talking about this on the program here on the other side of the break. We'll also hear from some recruits out there. Who do we got? We got Smoke we're going to hear from, I believe. And Dalton, remind me, who else do we have? We have Smoke and who else?
The Swede, Theo Mellon Ostrom.
So we'll have that. We'll hear a little bit from them, and we'll continue taking your phone calls, your text messages, and everyone's favorite email. If you want to email the show, by all means, please email the show. Right now, a moment for our friends at Caprock Emergency, the hospital emergency care system out there. They are the way to go if you're in a situation. So yesterday, nothing bad came out of it. My father, something fell on his head. He kind of got a little cut, and my mom was talking to me on the phone when it happened. Of course, I freaked out. Like, what are you going to do? He was fine. It was just a minor cut. But sometimes emergencies happen, guys, and you want to go somewhere that's going to be fast, effective, and just really helping you feel better. And that's what they do in the Caprock Health System. They're patient-centered care, and they are locally owned, operated, and they're trying to make you feel better. That's what they do. That's their sole purpose out there, and they accept all the kind of insurances out there. They've got it all, laboratory outpatient testing. They got the telehealth. They've got locations around the Bryan College Station area. The original 24-hour ER in South College Station, voted the best in the Brazos Valley, and Caprock Hospital with ER in Bryan. They are state-of-the-art facilities designed for patient healing and family friendliness. Check them out. They're fully capable of treating all emergency medical situations.
Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Come see what opportunities Brazos County 4-H has to offer at the County 4-H Club Fair on Saturday from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the new Brazos County Extension Office located on County Park Court in Bryan. Loss of a Spouse is a free seminar on Sunday, August 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Peace Lutheran Church.